Hey guys, how's it going? I just wanted to do a short little vlog here. One of the things I wanted to talk about was why it's never too late to play guitar. You know, so many times I run into people and they say, you know, man, I would love to be able to play guitar, or I'm a hack at guitar, I wish I could play better, or things like that. So many people want to take up the instrument, but to them it just seems like it's I don't know, an impossible task to be able to try and ever learn the instrument. But you know, the cool thing is that the guitar, while it's a very difficult instrument to master and takes quite a while, it's actually a very, very easy instrument to be able to learn how to play some very simple tunes on with some, you know, just a handful of chords that you learn. You can be up and you know, playing music in no time. And then of course, if you want to take it further, you know, gosh, take it as far as you want to take it. You know, I always think about a friend that I had back in high school, and I had a good buddy, and we used to hang out, and he was really, really into music. You know, I mean, just massive like Grateful Dead fan, and you know, traded all these bootleg tapes of them, and all this old blues, and you know, introduced me to a lot of cool stuff like, you know, Lead Belly and Sun House and all this kind of cool stuff. And so anyway, we used to hang out at his place a lot of times. It seemed like every week he'd have a new instrument. I'd go over there and he's got a violin all of a sudden, or you know, or he's got some kind of a, you know, he's got a sax, or he's got a flute, or he's got something. You know, it was just like, you know, we'd be just hanging out in his room, and I'd be like, hey man, you know, when did you get this violin? And he's like, oh, I got it off a buddy or something like that, or you know, found it in a trash can, or who knows where he got this stuff from. You know, I always had these weird stories with it. But he'd be like, yeah, I want to learn it. So I would always ask him, like, you know, well, what can you play on? Play me something. And he's like, oh, you know, I'm gonna get around to it. And I noticed after, you know, just being buddies with this guy for a while, you know, and hanging out with him, that he never learned how to play these instruments. It's like he kind of would collect them, and he had these aspirations of playing them, and you know, we'd go, you know, see bands together, and he just had this love of music, like I said. But when it came around to actually, you know, putting in the effort to learn how to play, it was just like, you know, he wasn't willing to do it, or maybe he just thought it was too difficult for him or something. And I always thought that was strange, because it was like, you know, you got the instrument, you already got it, so just apply yourself, you know, just learn it now. So anyway, I always think about that. People that ask me, you know, about learning how to play guitar, I'm like, do it, you know. There's no time like now, and you can talk about it for forever, but it's just a matter of, you know, getting a hold of an instrument and starting on it. Like I said, the nice thing about the guitar is you can learn the basics of it so quickly that, you know, even if you start later in life, maybe you got small goals, maybe you're not looking to be in a band, maybe you're not looking to get up on stage or, you know, record a CD or anything like that. Maybe your goal is just to say, hey, I would just like to be able to sit down and just, you know, play something, play a riff, you know, maybe a riff that I like off one of my favorite songs. I'd just love to be able to do that. I know when I started, that was it for me. Well, then do it. There's no time like now, you know, to go ahead and begin. And don't worry about, you know, if you're listening to your favorite guitar virtuoso or a band or whatever, and you just think, oh man, I could never get to that level. Don't let that deter you, man. I mean, those are people that have, you know, most musicians, we spend our whole lives, you know, working towards refining our skills and everything. And but that doesn't mean you can't just enjoy just playing, even at the most basic level, because you're playing ultimately, whether you're playing for yourself in you know, your own bedroom, or whether you're playing you know, on stage, or whether you're playing in a studio recording something. Ultimately, at the end of the day, we're all just playing for ourselves. You know, we're just trying to make some music that makes us happy, and then, you know, if it does more than that, cool. But that's, you know, that's the most basic goal, and that's a great thing at whatever level. I mean, I sit around and I practice guitar and I play just for the fun of it. You know, it doesn't have to be for a gig or a recording or something like that. So I think that's the most pure of reasons to play music. And so I just want to encourage you, if you do or don't think that you have ability or you're worried about it, man, don't overthink it. Just do it. I remember as a kid, one of the classes that I was really bad at was music class. And I thought, well, as much as I liked music, I thought, man, I'm not going to have any talent for this. And it wasn't until years later that I realized that it was because of the way they taught music. And it was because, the music teacher would teach you written notation first, and then you'd go from that to, starting to play and do other things like that. But I really didn't like to read standard notation. I just didn't have the patience really to try and learn it, and since that was kind of like the beginning level of it, I kind of lost interest and figured I didn't have a talent for it. It wasn't until years later then I had friends that played, and all of a sudden I would be hanging out over at their house or something, and somebody would be like, playing a riff from a song, and I'd be blown away. I'd be like, wait a second, that's a song that I hear on the radio. You mean you can play that? How did you figure that out? I mean, how do I play that? And to realize that a lot of these guys did it without being able to read standard notation, and this thing that I didn't enjoy. And I don't got anything against standard notation. Actually, I do read a little bit and use it in certain situations that I'm in now. But that was after years after actually really being a self-taught guitarist for the most part, and learning to play by ear and tab and these other things, and not standard notation. So don't ever count yourself out. Sometimes it's certain experiences that you've had or something that you may just think, oh, I'm not the guy to be doing this, but that may not be the case. I hope it speaks to somebody out there, that's been thinking about doing it. And like I said, just don't overthink it. Have fun. Get an instrument. Try to make music that you enjoy, or replicate music that you enjoy off the radio or CD or your iPod or whatever. And that's it. Drop me a line if it's been helpful. Take care.